Matt and Jennifer are making some homemade ice cream for Father's Day for me and for Grandpa. The big thing that happened today, Father's Day Eve, is something that also happened with our oldest son on Father's Day Eve a long time ago, 13 years ago when he was about 4. Kind of the same thing happened today with Matt. Jennifer was just doing his morning Bible study, talking about living for God, and he basically said that's what he wanted to do. Asked him if he wanted to do that today, and he asked the Lord into his heart. Father's Day Eve, you can't ask for a better Father's Day gift than that. Both of our sons now have done that on Father's Day Eve, so very cool day. And tomorrow we're going to enjoy some ice cream too. Here we were, coming up to what Jennifer and I thought was going to be the last doctor's appointment where he was going to release me from disability, which means the disability pay would stop, and we would have to make a decision. Were we going to do what God wanted us to do, or were we going to go back to my job where I knew that I could get a paycheck every week? Right now, our camera and computer equipment are getting older, outdated, falling behind in technology, and we're having some issues with them. So basically, in order to do what God's called us to do, we really need to upgrade that equipment. In order to do the part of the ministry where we go out and film God's creation, we need a vehicle. After a lot of prayer, research, and thinking about it, we felt like the best vehicle would be a small Class C 24-foot motorhome. That would save us both time and money. The motorhome would give us kind of a home base, something to carry our equipment, our supplies, a place to sleep, have a bathroom and a shower, a place to cook. The problem is, even though we know God called us to do this, we don't have the funding. We don't have a way to get the equipment that we need at this time. Okay, this was really cool this morning. While I was up doing my prayer time, I look in Matt's room and he kind of wakes up, and what does he do? He grabs his Bible and starts reading his Bible. Come here, check it out. Coming up to this doctor's appointment, even though we knew God called us to do this ministry, it felt like we were coming up to a cliff. We didn't have the money to fund what we needed to be able to do the ministry, so we're kind of coming up to this cliff, it felt like, and we're just kind of looking back at God going, okay, God, we committed to doing what you want us to do, but how are we going to do it? Here's this cliff here. We're just about at the edge, God. We need a miracle or something in order to continue to do this. We went into the doctor's appointment. I started talking to him about how my shoulders were doing, some of the issues that I was still having some problems, especially in the left shoulder. And we came out of that meeting with a partial permanent disability status on my left shoulder. That was not at all what we were expecting. I'd never even heard of that. What exactly does that mean for us doing this ministry? We didn't know what it meant. We didn't know what was going to happen at that point.
So today's a grandma day, so Matt just helped me get the mail. We're going to go in today. We fill her pillowcase and we do laundry.
With the partial permanent disability status on my shoulder, God just closed the door of that option of me going back to my job. So he just was really making it clear that this is what he wanted us to do, and this is what he was telling us to do. Come to find out, with this disability status, I'm going to get another year's worth of disability pay, and there's a possible payout for having the disability after working for this company and getting the injury on the job for the last 30 years. With God leading me into a career change at my age, it looks like he's made a transition and some funding in order to get at least some of the equipment that we need to do what he's calling us to do at this time, as well as some income to be able to live on for at least a little while. Looks like Matt and Mom have a little project going on over here today.
I feel like the Lord led me to this a long time ago, is to have non-perishable lunches in my car.
They're basically from people who are homeless.
It's things like this that I really can tell that Jennifer really is an angel, and God sent her here to help us to have more of a heart like His.
God is just so awesome. He's got it figured out. When He tells us to do something that seems crazy or doesn't make sense, we didn't know what was going to happen, but we just knew that we needed to obey Him and do what He was calling us to do. We know that God tells us that it's impossible to please Him without faith, and He's always stretching our faith in Him, and that's just to help us to just be able to trust in Him and know that we can trust in Him. He is just so awesome in the way that He cares for us and makes ways where there doesn't seem to be a way. So we're just totally thankful for what God's doing and what He's done up to this point. We know with what God has shown us and what God has taught us and what He's doing right now that we just need to totally press into God. We need to be seeking Him. We need to be seeking to be close, listening, reading His Word, praying, and just trusting in Him because He knows what He's doing because He's God.